Hey everybody, this is Steve, and beauty can point us to the truth. Have you ever walked into a museum, or maybe even just an old house, and caught a glimpse of some of the beautiful things that people have made? Have you ever read a book, or acted in a play, or performed in a dance and felt something stir in your heart? From intricately carved wooden boxes, to meticulously crafted plates and silverware, to beautiful poems and inspiring symphonies, it's amazing how people surround themselves with such beauty. Not necessarily for the sake of usefulness, but for the sake of experiencing beauty itself. In a world where things are designed primarily for use, where so many of the objects we use on a day-to-day basis end up being thrown away, where so much of the media we consume is meant to simply entertain us and pass the time, it's amazing to see these attempts to fill the world, even the mundane and routine parts of our lives, with beauty. Because while our lives are built around comfort and usefulness, on avoiding pain or boredom, this focus on utility can often distract us from something higher, something deeper. Beauty. It's hard to deny how important beauty is in my life. If nothing else, I feel different walking through a beautiful neighborhood or through the halls of my favorite museum. Beauty is important to me, and has always been important in the life of the church. Yet I fear that we've diminished its importance, that we've turned beauty into, at best, a sort of decoration, a pleasant thing rather than a deeply meaningful thing. The English poet John Keats has a great work called Ode on a Grecian Urn. It's a series of reflections on the designs painted onto an urn or clay pot, preserved from ancient Greece. He summarizes the message of the urn, which speaks to us on a deeply human level, like this: "Thou shalt remain in midst of other woe than ours, a friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth. Truth, beauty. That is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know." That's a powerful observation, that beauty is all we know, and all we need to know here in this life. And what God has revealed to us reinforces the wisdom of this poem. As we've talked about before, the story of salvation, beginning with the moment of creation, can be seen as a sort of movement, or even dance. Building on the work of St. Dionysius the Areopagite, St. Maximus the Confessor wrote about how God is so wondrous, so beautiful, that he somehow inspired non-being to come out of itself, to become creation. God then came out of himself, as the uncreated Son of God became the firstborn of creation, incarnate, born of a virgin. And the incarnation, this beautiful and paradoxical and mysterious and unique event, leads to something unbelievable, that our incarnate God can invite us to come out of ourselves and be united to him for our salvation and for the life of the world. Fyodor Dostoevsky, the incredible Russian novelist, wrote from a perspective that was profoundly orthodox and Christ-centered. And in his novel The Idiot, he offers a short line of such depth and hope, a line you may have already heard many times yet never fully understood. Beauty will save the world. Prince Mishkin, the character who spoke this line, just as much as Dostoevsky, who wrote this line, knew that Christ is our Savior in the most literal sense of the word. Yet they also realize that what will draw us to him is not mere arguments or ideas, but a deeper call, the voiceless whisper of beauty which speaks directly to our hearts. As we discussed back in episode 122, our calling is to not simply know about God, but to know him and be known by him. To know not simply with head knowledge, but with our hearts, with our whole being. And beauty, not just on the surface, but in a deep, existential sense, is the pull that tugs on our heartstrings, the gravitational force that draws us back to the Lord. There have been moments in my life that have been so dark, so bleak, that I felt at the very edge of losing hope. In those moments, it was more than an argument or idea that pulled me back to safety. It was the Lord, not wrestling with my mind, but piercing my heart, not convincing me to follow him, but inspiring me to come and see. And this beautiful experience, this divine encounter, can and should be our gift to the world. We may not all be artists in the strict sense of the word, yet even if you don't create poetry or symphonies, you are the co-creator in a unique and beautiful thing: your life. As we've talked about before, every choice you make shapes who you are. It is another brushstroke in the painting that is your life, another verse in the poem that is your unique and unrepeatable existence. And this creation, which we develop over a lifetime and share with the world, can be an image of jealousy and greed and pride, an image of darkness and despair and death. Or it can be an image of the living God himself. It can be an image that radiates his light and his life into even the darkest corners of the world. So let's be the bee and bring a little beauty into the world. Be the bee and live orthodoxy. Remember to like and subscribe and share. I'll see you all next week. Thanks to our supporters on Patreon who helped make this episode possible. To support the creation of more Orthodox Christian content, please visit patreon.com/Y2AM.